Seduction is an ancient and powerful game, a subtle dance between desire, manipulation, and psychology. Robert Greene reveals a step-by-step guide to mastering this art. Today, we begin to uncover the seductive process itself, starting with the first two critical steps: choosing the right victim and creating a false sense of security. Every great seduction starts with strategy, and like any great strategist, a seducer must be deliberate, patient, and precise. Let's explore how to choose the right target and set the stage for a successful seduction. Step 1. Choose the right victim. Not everyone is vulnerable to seduction. Some people are too emotionally fulfilled, too self-sufficient to be swayed by the subtle charms of a seducer. That's why it's essential to choose your target wisely. The ideal victim is often someone who feels an emotional void. They may be lonely, bored, or dissatisfied with life, craving excitement or affection that they're not receiving elsewhere. As a seducer, your role is to recognize those hidden needs and position yourself as the solution. Take, for example, the legendary Casanova. He didn't just approach women at random. He sought out those who were unhappy in their marriages, those who were emotionally starved or bored. He knew these women were craving something more. Casanova's success wasn't simply about charm, it was about understanding his victims' emotional needs and carefully choosing the right time to enter their lives. By creating a deep emotional connection, Casanova could make his victims feel understood in ways their husbands or lovers couldn't. This understanding broke down their defenses and left them vulnerable to his advances. Step 2. Create a false sense of security. Once you've chosen the right target, don't rush. A direct approach can often lead to rejection. The key here is to be subtle and patient, easing your way into the victim's life without them ever realizing your true intent. Start with friendship, casual conversations, and lighthearted interactions. Let them feel safe around you, as though there is no romantic agenda at all. This way, their defenses lower naturally and they begin to trust you. Let's look at Napoleon Bonaparte and his approach to seducing Josephine de Beauharnais. Unlike the other men in her life who showered her with attention, Napoleon took a different approach. He acted indifferent. At first, Josephine wasn't interested in him, but Napoleon's lack of immediate attention intrigued her. By appearing aloof and disinterested, Napoleon sparked Josephine's curiosity. Instead of pushing her toward him, he made her come to him. This subtle intrigue created a false sense of security. She believed she was the one in control. Napoleon deepened their connection gradually. He engaged her in conversations, building trust while keeping his true desires hidden. Over time, Josephine let her guard down and found herself irresistibly drawn to him. In the art of seduction, subtlety is everything. By creating a false sense of security, the seducer becomes a trusted figure in the victim's life, someone they feel safe with. Once the target feels secure, the real game can begin. The third step is all about sending mixed signals. This is where you keep the target guessing by creating emotional tension. One moment, you're affectionate and warm. The next, you're cool and distant. This unpredictability builds curiosity and keeps the target emotionally engaged. Example: the story of Queen Elizabeth. First, Queen Elizabeth. I mastered the art of sending mixed signals with her suitors. Though she had many admirers and potential husbands, Elizabeth would flirt with them, show interest, and then withdraw her affection. This kept her suitors constantly off balance and more invested in winning her favor, even though she never fully committed to any of them. When you send mixed signals, it creates emotional confusion. The target starts wondering, do they like me or not? That uncertainty creates a strong emotional pull because people are naturally drawn to solving mysteries. They'll keep coming back to you, trying to figure you out. Think of it like fishing. When a fish takes the bait, you don't immediately pull it in. You let it nibble, and then you tug the line. The fish struggles, but becomes more hooked in the process. Similarly, mixed signals create that back-and-forth dynamic where the target gets emotionally hooked without realizing it. In step 4, Greene advises you to appear to be an object of desire. When others see that you are admired, respected, or pursued by people, they automatically assume you're worth pursuing as well. Social proof plays a huge role in making yourself seem more desirable. Example: Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn Monroe is a prime example of this. Everywhere she went, she was surrounded by admirers. Men adored her and women wanted to be her. Because she was desired by so many, people perceived her as someone of immense value. This elevated her allure in every interaction, making her more attractive even before she said a word. How do you create this aura of desirability? You don't need to be a celebrity like Monroe. Instead, you can create a social circle of admirers, highlight your successes subtly, or show that others value your time and attention. When your target sees that others want you, their desire for you grows automatically. It's like a crowded restaurant. People assume that if so many are waiting to eat there, the food must be amazing. In the same way, when you surround yourself with admirers, you signal to your target that you're worth pursuing. In step 5, it's time to create a need. This involves stirring anxiety and discontent within the target. While this may sound manipulative, the goal is to make the target aware of what's missing in their life, whether it's excitement, adventure, or emotional connection. Once you've done that, you position yourself as the person who can fill that need. Example: Rasputin and the Romanov family. Grigory Rasputin became influential in the Romanov family's life by exploiting their anxieties about the health of their heir, Alexei, who suffered from hemophilia. Rasputin convinced them that he alone had the power to heal Alexei, and in doing so he made himself indispensable to the family, especially Tsarina Alexandra. By highlighting their insecurities or discontent, you make the target feel that their life is incomplete without you. They start to see you as the person who can solve their problems or give them what they lack. Think of yourself as an artist working on a blank canvas. Your target has parts of their life that feel incomplete, like unpainted areas. You provide the colors that fill in those gaps, making their life feel complete only with your presence. The 6th step is to master the art of insinuation. Instead of directly stating your desires, Greene suggests planting ideas in the target's mind subtly. When you hint at your intentions, rather than declaring them outright, the target is more likely to believe that they are the one initiating the connection. This gives them a sense of control while deepening their attraction. Example: Madame de Pompadour. Madame de Pompadour, mistress of King Louis XV of France, was a master of insinuation. She never openly vied for the king's affection. Instead, she made herself indispensable in court life, subtly positioning herself as someone Louis needed by his side. Over time, Louis believed it was his decision to make her his official mistress, although she had planted the seeds all along. Insinuation allows the seduction to feel natural. The target believes they are the one making the decisions, but in reality, you are guiding them every step of the way through subtle hints and suggestions. It's like playing chess. Every move you make is deliberate, but to the other person, it seems like you're just playing a casual game. They don't realize you're already several steps ahead in your strategy. The next step is to enter their spirit. This is about truly understanding your target's desires, emotions, and personality, and mirroring them. By doing this, you create a deep connection because the target feels like you understand them on a fundamental level. It's as if you are the reflection of their innermost thoughts and dreams. Example: Casanova. Casanova was famous for his ability to enter the spirit of the women he pursued. He studied their likes, their fears, and their passions. He became whatever they needed, sometimes a confidant, sometimes a lover, sometimes a partner in adventure. Because of this, his conquests often felt a deep emotional connection with him, far beyond mere physical attraction. When you enter someone's spirit, they feel that you get them in a way no one else does. This emotional bond can be incredibly seductive because it taps into their need to be understood and valued. Think of yourself as a mirror. When the target looks at you, they should see themselves reflected, only in a way that is more romantic, more exciting, and more aligned with their desires. You become the version of them that they aspire to be. In step 8, Greene tells us to create temptation. The goal here is to present yourself as something the target desires deeply, but believes is just out of reach. By offering glimpses of what they want, whether it's affection, excitement, or emotional fulfillment, you build up their desire, making them crave more. Josephine and Napoleon. Napoleon was head over heels for Josephine, but she made sure to keep him chasing her. Even after they were married, she didn't fully commit to him emotionally. This made Napoleon desire her more, leading him to shower her with affection and gifts to win her over. Temptation works because it plays on the human tendency to desire what we can't easily have. By remaining just out of reach, you make yourself more desirable. The target will pursue you more aggressively to close the gap. Think of it like dangling a piece of fruit in front of someone who is hungry. You give them a taste, but never let them take a full bite. This keeps them coming back, wanting more of what you have to offer. Suspense is a powerful tool in seduction. Greene tells us to keep the target in suspense by delaying gratification. By not giving the target everything they want right away, you create a sense of mystery and anticipation. They'll keep coming back, eager to find out what's next. The Sultan and Scheherazade. In the story of 1001 Nights, Scheherazade keeps the Sultan in suspense by telling him stories that never conclude at dawn. Each night she leaves him on a cliffhanger, ensuring that he spares her life for one more day so he can hear the rest of the story. This suspense keeps the Sultan emotionally hooked. Delaying gratification builds emotional investment. By keeping your target in suspense, you heighten their interest and deepen their emotional attachment. They become addicted to the feeling of anticipation. It's like reading a thrilling novel. You can't put the book down because each chapter ends with a cliffhanger. In seduction, you want to create the same effect. Leave your target wanting more, eager to see what happens next. Words are a powerful tool in seduction. The importance of using the power of words. Your words should evoke emotion, paint vivid pictures, and create a sense of fantasy. Whether through flattery, charm, or subtle persuasion, A typical example is Lord Byron. Lord Byron, the famous poet, was known for his seductive use of words. His poems and letters were filled with romantic imagery, passion, and longing. His ability to express emotions through words made him irresistible to many women of his time. The key here is to make your words feel intimate and personal. Compliments should be specific, tailored to the target's unique qualities. By using evocative language, you transport them into a world of emotion and desire. Think of words like a paintbrush. With each word, you add color and texture to the canvas of seduction, creating a masterpiece of emotional connection. The right words can transform an ordinary conversation into something magical. Seduction isn't just about grand gestures. It's also about the little things. In Step 11, Greene tells us to pay attention to detail. Everything from your appearance to your environment to your body language plays a role in creating the perfect seductive atmosphere. Let's see this example. The Sun King, Louis XIV. Louis XIV of France, known as the Sun King, was a master of detail. Every aspect of his court, from his clothing to the design of his palace, was meticulously curated to convey power, elegance, and desirability. People were not just attracted to him as a person, but to the entire world he had created around himself. Next, you want to poeticize your presence. This means becoming larger than life in the eyes of your target. You're not just a person, you're a symbol, a fantasy, something out of the ordinary. When you create this sense of mystery and allure, you elevate yourself beyond the mundane. Historical example, Oscar Wilde. Oscar Wilde, with his wit, charm, and flamboyant personality, was able to poeticize his presence everywhere he went. He wasn't just seen as a man, but as an embodiment of art and intellect. People were drawn to his aura of brilliance and mystery. Poeticizing your presence means creating an unforgettable image of yourself. It's about becoming someone your target dreams about long after you've left the room. Now, we reach one of the most powerful techniques, strategic withdrawal. After moments of intense seduction or emotional connection, pulling away or becoming momentarily distant can increase the target's desire for you. This absence makes them long for your presence, creating a deeper emotional attachment. Example: Napoleon and Josephine. Even after their marriage, Josephine frequently pulled away from Napoleon emotionally. This made him desire her even more, often writing passionate letters to her, desperate for her affection and attention. Her strategic withdrawal kept him hooked, even as their relationship faced challenges. It's like a rubber band. The more you stretch it by pulling away, the stronger the snapback when you return. This snapback represents the heightened desire your target feels when you come back into their life. Finally, we come to step 14, confusing desire and reality. This is where the lines between fantasy and reality blur, and you create an emotional experience so intense and dreamlike that the target becomes completely absorbed in the seduction. They start to feel like they're living in a story, a fantasy that they don't want to end. Example: Lord Byron. Lord Byron, with his poetic words and intense emotional displays, often made his lovers feel as though they were living in a romantic fantasy. His ability to evoke such deep emotions blurred the lines between reality and the fantasies he created with his words, making him unforgettable to those he seduced. When you confuse desire and reality, the seduction feels magical, almost unreal. The target becomes so deeply invested that they no longer distinguish between what's real and what's a fantasy. They are swept away by the emotions you've created. It's like walking through a dream. In a dream, everything feels real, yet it's heightened, more intense, more vivid. In seduction, you want to create that same dreamlike experience, where the emotions are so powerful that the target loses themselves in the fantasy. Seduction, as Robert Greene presents it, is a complex but powerful art. It's not just about romantic attraction, it's about understanding human psychology, emotions, and desires. By mastering the 14 steps of the seductive process, you can not only captivate others, but create deep emotional bonds in both personal and professional relationships. Thank you for watching this deep dive into the insightful. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content on psychology, relationships, and personal growth. Let us know in the comments which step you found the most intriguing, and we'll continue the conversation. Until next time.